Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of American Horror Stories, Season 2, Episode 7. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted reality shows, and also the reactions. If you're returning, you one of my peoples, welcome back. We don't have any comments from last week's video, so we're going to jump right on in. Now, y'all, we've come to the part of the season to where the episode was like, we could have completely and utterly missed this whole entire episode. I'm looking at the clock. It's on Hulu, of course. Everybody watching it on Hulu. But I'm like, okay, when is something supposed to jump off? I was sitting here waiting, and then we get like 30 minutes in to where like stuff was really happening, and I'm like, what is going on here? So we start off in Maine. It's like 1988. And we see this woman. She is on the floor. She is no longer here. Then her little girl, walks in the room. Not knowing that the mama is no longer here. Decides to nurse. Then, the place is ramshacked and everything. So obviously somebody came in there and made it so she was no longer here. So we switched to California 2022, I think, something like that. I didn't get the date. I apologize. And we had this lady working in a funeral home. She is one of the people who puts the makeup on the people who are no longer here to make them look presentable for their family and friends. She's done such a good job that the owner of the funeral home was like, I want to give you a raise. So she gets home and she tells her boyfriend, yay, I got a raise. But he not really trying to hug her because she's smelling like funeral home. And she's like, I took 2 showers before I left, but like the vapors and the fumes that you use is strong. So how about you get into a hot bath with that lavender oil that I got you so, you can get yourself together. Okay, how about that? So now she feeling some type of way. She talking to her homegirls, and she is more passionate about her job than she is about her relationship. I look like I'm just head and shoulders. Y'all gonna have to, I apologize. I need to get that piece from my tripod, and I keep on forgetting to order it. So yeah, that's where she's at. But then she meets this young man at work. She's in there working on a body, talking to the body like the person is still here. And he just like bursts into the room. Sir, don't do that. Don't do that. This is a place where I'm most likely the only person who is still here of this world. I don't need to be hearing noises. I don't need you busting in the room. So he like, where do I put this body? She was like, over there. Then he gets to whispering to the body. And this is when I thought it was about to jump off. I thought he was going to do some kind of spell or type of something going on. But that didn't happen. She's attracted to this young man. So much so that when her and her boyfriend was in the throes of passion, she is fantasizing about this man. Yeah. They're spending so much time together that, they're doing things at work that it's not really his job, like pulling in the caskets into the showroom, going out to the gravesite, and she's helping. It's like he's putting the dirt inside the graves, eating lunch at the cemetery. They're doing all things like they're a couple. And I'm like, this is not going to end well for anybody. So she gets a call while she's out on what looks like a date with old boy who's, I didn't get nobody's names. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I did not get anybody's names. I am a terrible reviewer, but I'm like, this is just for one episode, so do I really need to know their names? So he going to be old dude, she going to be old girl, and he going to be boyfriend. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Her boyfriend calls, like, we're supposed to be having dinner with my parents, so she got to leave what looks like a date with old boy. And she gets home, and it's dark. And you see somebody, like, walk by real fast. I'm like, okay, what's good? And she looking, there's cereal on the floor. And this is when she has a traumatic flashback to when she was little and her mama was unalived. So she freaking out, she panicking, and the boyfriend come up like, I was just asking you to marry me. And she's like, you don't want to be with somebody like me. I am not the person you need to be with. And she like storms off. She has never told the boyfriend that until like that moment what happened to her mama. So he was like, well, this is your favorite cereal, so I just put it down. She's like, I always keep a box of this cereal because it makes me feel closer to my mom. It was cereal all on the floor when her mama was unalive. It was a mess. She gets to work and she sees old boy, old dude, and she breaks down. She get to wiping him down. You were so stupid to be over ODing. She doggone holding his hand. She kisses him. She spends a little too longer, for my opinion, to be wiping down his private parts. And this is when she jumps on top of him. And I'm like, this is when American Story was coming through, because I was like, girl, what you finna do? She doggone straddles this man and gets to riding and would have kept on until his hand moved. Now it's like, was that a movement from, you know, the nerves, you know, finally doing what they do and all that stuff? So she jumps off and runs. And I'm thinking, girl, you gonna mess your pH balance up. Like, this is a man who is no longer him. He is unalive. And you just jumped on top of him. No protection was used because you wasn't intended to do this. You gonna mess your whole system up. That's where my mind was going. She goes, ooh, voice. She go back into the room and he is no longer there. He no longer on the table. So she get to throwing up. And I'm like, oh, you throwing up now? Now you want to get sick? What you was doing a few minutes ago, that was sick. Well, it turns out, oh boy, oh dude, he was not unalive. It was kind of sort of like a prank. He had got something off of the YouTube to make it seem like he was unalive. And he had his homegirl, put some prosthetics on him to make it seem like it was the incisions from when they was doing the autopsy on him. And he was like, I love you. I don't love you. You were such a sick individual. I hate you. You know, she was doing all those things because she's feeling like, oh my goodness, I was just trying to hunch on you when I thought you was no longer here. I am embarrassed. I am a terrible person. I am sick in the head. She got all those things going through her head. But like after that, she done changed her whole appearance. She's working inside of a makeup store and she's wearing bright colors and everything. And she told the boyfriend, I'm gonna marry you. All that stuff. So they at the altar after they done said their vows, and the now husband, he was like, she's like, this isn't a part of the wedding. He got a video up, and my first thought was he gonna show that video, but then it was like showing them, you know, as they was dating and all those things, and then it cuts to that video of her and old boy. Yes, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, is that what I think it is? But luckily, you know, old dude showed up, was like, no, she was not hunching on somebody who was no longer here. Even though she thought she was, she didn't. So, I mean, it's weird, but she didn't actually do that. It's just that she thought she did that. So, yeah, now the, you know, he now husband, like, you were a sick individual. Not only was you cheating, you thought you was cheating with somebody who was no longer here. Get out my face. Get up off me. He was like doing all those things. So now she got to look for a job. But ain't nobody hiring because she's been labeled as an offender. So yeah, she can't get a job no more. And it don't help that the video was spreading like wildfire about what she done done. And this is when you really, really, really lose me. I mean, you lost me way back there. Like, her doing all the things that she thought she was doing. So, she buys herself, you know, a weapon of choice. It goes pow, pow, boom, boom. They can use in your hand. So, she these two basically, she was going to go pow pow boom boom to him, and he explains that the moment he really felt alive is when he lost his family. He could taste the blood in his mouth. And he's like, I know about your mama. She's like, don't talk about my mama. Well, he's like, I know that you was in the house for 3 days before anybody found you. And she's like, yes. And when I nursed from my mama, that's when I truly felt love. These two was trauma bonding. Yes. And when old boy thought it was gonna like go off into the sunset and live, you know, this life that they live together, she shoots him and he falls into the grave, and like she pushes the button and all the dirt from the truck, you know, falls on him, and then she jumps in with him, and I was like, what? And then they start to try to hunt, and I'm like, so we just gonna go out right here? You, oh boy, oh dude, you not even gonna try? I know you shot in the stomach. You're not going to attempt to get out of this. Y'all gonna try to hunch as this dirt is burying y'all. Really? He had told some story about some woman did that. Her husband was being buried and she hopped in the grave with him. I was like, okay, that's how y'all decided to go out? Okay. Again, I did not like this episode at all. I thought it was going to thought it was going somewhere else, and it didn't. It went some places that I did not think it was gonna go, but it wasn't the American Horror Story that I'm used to. So y'all, that was just. If I left anything out, by all means leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. That's free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on some my beautiful Facebook video. You can click on it, like it, share with your people. You can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.